Okay, so I've done videos on chemtrails before and what can be said that hasn't already been said by so many out there. However, in this video, I'm going to say something that probably nobody has said about chemtrails, at least not that I know of. It's just an idea that I have. Now, when it comes to people, information can be very dangerous because if the right person says some information, if enough people hear it and start repeating it, it automatically becomes the truth. So if one person says it's this way to the right audience, they automatically start doing it, and then it spreads and spreads and spreads. Apply that to whatever situation it needs applied to, but for this case on the chemtrails, it's about all the people putting up all these videos about what they believe chemtrails are. I guess this will be no different. This is going to be what I may believe what it's about. So they get all this information. Scientists did this research. So-and-so did this research, did these experiments, went out and found out their findings. And just because somebody said it, somebody clicking on a keyboard automatically takes it in as the truth. But like anything, what work have you gone out and done yourself and gathered the information on this? As for me personally, my own research that I have actually done with my own hands, looked at with my own eyes, this is what I have found. Collecting rainwater and testing it showed me that the water that fell from the sky was cleaner than all other waters I tested that were available. Well water, store-bought water, tap water, creek water, pond water, spring water. The rainwater was the cleanest. It tested pretty much pure, in fact. Now, if people are out there advertising that they're spraying heavy metals and whatever other kind of things that people are saying are being sprayed out of airplanes, this stuff would show up in some form or another, and it doesn't. Metals are conductive of electricity. If there was metals in this water, it would show up on the tester that I use. The tester I use measures the conductivity of the water based on what kind of minerals or metal, in this case concerning the chemtrail thing, would be in there. But whenever tested, it's nearly perfect. Who cares what the president says? Who cares what so-and-so's research said? What does your own research say that you collected? Not just clicking on keys. Just to throw this in there, like what I eat. I did my own research. I did my own hands-on testing and found it to be true. I didn't need somebody's research to convince me of that or anything else. Now, this is the part that you're probably not going to believe concerning what I'm finding out about chemtrails, is that it very well could just be water. Now, you're probably instantly thinking, if it's just water, then why does it cause all these problems? Okay, just because something is natural does not mean that it can't be unnaturally used to produce an unnatural result. Even if it is just 100% water that they're spraying behind a plane, that water does not belong where they are putting it. So, like I said, take something natural, use it unnaturally to get an unnatural result. It's a fact that when they spray the sky, it gets colder. It blocks out the sun. Those are just two things. Easy observations to be made by what's happening. If they are spraying all these chemicals and all these compounds and all these metals and all this blah 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 stuff, where is it? What goes up must come down. I don't know if that's a set in stone law, but what goes up, surely it comes down, even if it's water. So there's many possibilities and many ideas as to what they're actually doing by spraying the skies. But the most obvious one is weather. So how do you control the weather? By spraying water in the sky. If you fill up an area with something, water in this case, then other weather cannot move into that space. It's already occupied. It's already full. And no, chemtrails don't last forever. They eventually dissipate, blow away. They have to redo it all the time, and they are constantly applying. They are constantly tilling that garden. And like I was saying on weather, if there is a weather front trying to move into an area, if that sky, that level of atmosphere is already blanketed and covered with water, that space is already occupied. It might be able to move against it, it might be able to slow down the weather, but that space is already occupied. If an area is already covered up and blocked, then that weather system might have to choose another route to follow so they can control it like that. They don't want it here, they blanket it here, but they want it to go somewhere else, so they blanket it everywhere they don't want it to go, so the weather goes exactly where they want it to go, as in if they wanted to use it as a weapon. You're probably thinking right now, well, if it's just water, then why does it stay up there? Why does it hold its shape for so long and last for a long period of time? Okay, up there is not as turbulent as it seems to be down here on the ground. Down here we feel wind blowing in all kinds of different directions, but up there it's obviously a lot more stable than it is down here, because all it does is just expand and spread out. If it wasn't pretty much stable up there, then these straight line chemtrails and everything would just blow in all kinds of different directions. They would never hold their shape. So there's different layers to the sky we live under, and the higher you go, the calmer they get. And if you're just too religious to think that man is smart enough to be able to manipulate the weather, then I can't help you with that. It's just part of the program that God set in motion whenever he even created man. He gave them dominion, and some of them are taking that to an extreme level. But it's all God authorized, so I'm not worried about it. Some of you may be saying, well, what about all the colors in the sky? These odd pinks and oranges and just all kinds of weird colors. Okay, if you're on the ground and you spray a water bottle into the air, the sun's wherever it's at in the sky behind you, and you spray it, you see the rainbow. You see every color. That is a very local effect of water and light. Now in the sky, there's a lot of different distance between you and this color that you're seeing. The sun's going down. You see a bunch of orange, you see a bunch of red, you see a bunch of bluish color, and automatically people say that's because of the chemicals and the metals. You are just looking at a different level of filtration by the water, and it's showing you that color from that distance, wherever it is. In the middle of the day, you don't see these colors. You see it in the morning, and you see it in the evening, when the sun's coming up and when the sun's going down. Now, in the middle of the day, and well, maybe in the evenings too, you get that ring around the sun. It's the same kind of effect. And in the little corners of the circle, or however you understand that, you'll get the real bright spot, and sometimes it will appear like a rainbow. It's the same kind of thing. It's just that little spray bottle is a lot farther away from you than just right there on the ground with you. I'm not saying it has to be this way, but sometimes things are not as complicated as people make them by their mass information that they put out everywhere. If you're a follower of chemtrail theory, chemtrail conspiracy, whatever it is, you don't have to believe what I'm saying. You're going to form your own ideas anyway. But this is just the idea that I have based off of the evidence that I have. Maybe they put stuff in it, maybe they don't. But where is it? Anyway, thanks for watching.